wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of bleeding by intensity. Come on,
hey, Miss Leo.
Freedom is priceless.
Hopefully you got my message, Miss Leo.
Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
We coming.
You could try to play, right, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test, expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy.
Thank you. Everybody click there. That's where I will be. Click over there. That's where I'm going to be. I don't want to miss you.
Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
Hey, y'all. Oops.
You could try.
Hey, y'all. Yes, we're going to finish the interview, part two. I'm going to put part 2. Please, if you're not subscribed to the Sugar Babes channel, Go do it. Go and do it. That's where I shall. That's where I shall. Go, go on, 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 go on. Now let's start the other half of this video. Inside a carbonation, what it was like with Kendra slash Sheba. Let's go.
Yes. Hold up. After that, one of the members ended up getting this fat check to his account. And so we all looked at that. He looked at that as confirmation that, see, when you do God's work, things come in. So with the money, things like that would happen, and it kind of felt like it was validating our beliefs, where it's like, okay, if we just keep going live and putting our frequency out there, we're going to get donations, we're going to get money that just falls into our bank account. And as you can see, there's still some people who live like that. Me personally, I don't want to struggle on the struggle bus of cosmic currency. I'm gonna get out here like what I was doing before and work for it. And if I'm not offering a service, a valuable one that's of value that people can, appreciate, then I'm gonna be broke. What was the password again? Oh, hold on.
She coming. She coming. She coming. She coming. Yes, she is. And it's good to learn about the experience. Who got that fat? Who got that baby fat? Who got that fat? Who got that fat? Yes, who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Mm-hmm. Hey, hey, what's up, dog Stray? How you doing? Welcome. Good, always good to see you. And fast over her a little bit. Who got that fat check? We want to know.
I think I talked a little bit about it when I was talking about how we lived by the water in Belize. These places were very beautiful and very attractive.
They
And
got
I think that's
something
why,
out of it.
especially a lot of women came, because, and just people, young people in general, like coming from places like that don't have that type of scenery, and just the air is different, and um, certain quality of food is different and stuff. And I think that just coming from a different place, it intrigues you and it makes you feel like, you know this is something of value. And then you have people to share it with that that are really good people. I feel like I met some really good people, that everybody had their issues. Like I talked about mine with just having major issues emotionally, and in myself, just having low self-esteem, and like not just being lost. I think that thinking that this was going to fix me, thinking that he was going to fix me, and thinking that this was going to save me and humanity, was very far-fetched. And now it's like I can see how, I never really did the work, because that right there, um, leaving to go to seek that, in search of that, and then I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't have to sacrifice so much, to have the meaningful life. Like, yes, life comes with sacrifices, and yeah, you do have to sacrifice some things, but I think that I thought like the exchange was equal, because it was like, oh well, I gave a little bit of my money and I get all of this in return. But now I can see how just being controlled all the time, like always having to obey these rules and stay within certain bounds, just not even be able to go jump in the car and drive down the street, or even go for a walk without checking in with this person, or having to go with another member, because that is something that cult leaders do as a tactic. They never leave you. You can never be alone too long, because they have to reinforce their doctrine. And if you have too much time to yourself to think, then you won't then you'll be able to peep the holes and the red flags that are present. And so I think that, so much of my time, oh my God. Oh, okay. I thought I was on mute the whole time. I was about to be like, oh my God. The whole time that I thought I was getting so much, and it was just like luxury living. It's like within that were this very manipulative and controlling things happening that I feel like I was being very distracted by just the beauty, and even the people there that weren't like Bishop. It makes you think that like there is community here. And I didn't see, and initially I didn't see Bishop as much as I saw him later on. So during this time in Belize, he was mostly with his wife, grooming her, and indoctrinating her. And he was really trying to get her pregnant. And I forgot to mention that Melanation, he believed that the Black woman was God, the archetype, and that when you are of a high frequency, when you're God, there's no need to procreate. By the time I joined, the teachings were different. And I didn't know this because I didn't really look into much of Melanation like that. So by the time I joined, he started preaching nation building. Women are nurturers, they're mothers. And so we need to have children. And so one of the meetings that I vividly remember was him asking all the women in the group, there was only 3 of us at the time, what do we want? What is our purpose in life? And I went first, and I said to be a mother. And then the next person went, and they said, and I don't know why I think I said that because that's something that I desperately wanted, but I felt like couldn't happen because of the state of my physical like body. And like I said before, I didn't feel like it was agreeing with me. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, like I wanted to be a mother, and I felt like, is that ever going to be possible? And then, so I think that's why I said that. And then the next person said they wanted to like grow food and trees and stuff. And then the other person said just to be happy. And he went in on that person, like, to be happy, what does that even mean? But at the end, he was like, everybody should have had her answer. And he was saying my answer, because that's the woman's purpose. So this is when he started preaching like the woman's purpose is to nurse, nurture, to have children, and to procreate, so that
Rated darkness, what's up?
we can build a nation and teach children the knowledge,
Hey,
and then basically just create
what's up, baby?
a new world, and yes. Exactly, Aaron. Who gets mad at somebody that wants to be happy? I don't know. I think it was, but it to me it made sense at the time, because he was saying like that's so vague. Like, what brings you happiness? You can't just say to be happy, because that's not enough. So it was like sometimes when he would yell on people.
Don't forget, guys, to click on this link right here. Click on it, click on it, click on it. Stroll up, stroll up, stroll up, and click on it, because that's where I'm going to be. That is where I'm going. JC, click that. Number one grinder, click that. Because we're going to be over there. All his teachers had a red flag. They sure enough did. But make sure you click that link. I'm going to know, because I'm going to go over there and see if JC clicked it and JT clicked it. They done did me dirty over here. They done did me dirty. So I have to build that one up. Don't forget, this afternoon, JC said she's going to bust some pow, 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 pow. She's going to bust some pow pows later on tonight, because she's going to fill in some gaps for us. This is just the morning thing. So I would definitely, when I do it, I would definitely play the interview over. Thank you, babe. I would definitely play the interview over, and then she could fill in the gaps there. Right? But I want to finish this one out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Matter of fact, drop the link for love too, Sugar Love. Drop the link, Sugar Love. That's crazy. I don't know. You drop that. Drop that, baby.
I would be like, oh, I could see why he's trying to get them to think about that more. You know, like the things he would yell at me about was like stuff I felt like. One time he yelled at me really bad in Belize because me and the cook were making a cookbook, and he was like, y'all been working on this cookbook for like 3 months. He was like, when is the cookbook gonna be done? Like, y'all not really doing it, and da 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 da. And I remember I just cried because he was just like grilling us. And he was like, why are you crying? You sensitive, like you're super sensitive to criticism and da da da. And then I went back and looked at my chart, and of course, in my birth chart, it said you could be sensitive to criticism. So I ended up like going to him in his room, and I told him, I was like, master teacher, I apologize, I'm so sorry. Well, we didn't say I'm sorry because of the language that basically I'm sorry would be like subconsciously you're saying that you're a sorry person. So we didn't say that. We would say I apologize. So I said, I apologize, I shouldn't have cried, I really learned my lesson. And like, I don't know, it's crazy. It's like something in me felt like I needed to apologize to him for crying and getting emotional, because I wanted him to know that like I took his teaching seriously, and I took what his criticism seriously, and I was going to work on what he said needed to be worked on. So it's very interesting how it's like it became this like teacher student dynamic, and this almost like father, like this authority figure over me. Yeah, he became that in my life very quickly. I think from day one, when I started watching him and his videos, I felt like he was an authority in a sense, because I felt like he knew more than me. So I always put him on a pedestal. So yeah. Yeah, very, very interesting now looking back about that. But exactly, Ivy, that's exactly why we would say that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
Yeah, the fake master teacher.
Just funny. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, like Belize was interesting. Like it just showed me that like I feel like I learned that um he was in charge. And not even so much like scared, like oh my gosh, he's in charge, but like he is the authority here because he knows the most, and he's been doing this before all of us. Like, it's similar to what the women say now. He set out on this journey before any of us, and he had this knowledge before we did, and he knew it all. He seemed to have an answer for everything, and he seemed to have everything under control. But and at this point in time, I didn't see him being physically abusive, but I know he probably was, and I know he was definitely grooming me at that point in time, and he had actually I just know that he
Time, baby.
was, I think he was like building up for something, like gaining my trust and stuff like that. And then talking to other women in the group, like even talking to Mama D, like it was like very affirming, like reaffirming what he was saying, because like everybody was agreeing. You have all these different age groups. I mean, you have the younger people, but then you also have older people coming to join. You have people that are 10 years older than me, people that are 20 years old. Like you have people who are you would think are more experienced in life, and how are, this has to be, this knowledge is attracting everybody, it looks like. And yeah, it just felt like, every time, something negative would happen, like, not even negative. Anytime we would say something, like I remember one time it was said that, like, we moved into this house and it was really dirty, and we were complaining like, damn, we gotta clean all this up, like this is dirty. And he was like, y'all ain't never worked for nothing, y'all might as well go back to Babylon because y'all not used to really working for something. Oh, I can't stand y'all bougie ass, like. And
Which house was
and it
that?
was just like,
Which house was that?
dang it, everything that he did to express how he felt about what we were doing in the moment, it felt deserving in those moments, because it was like, damn, maybe he's right, like maybe we're being bougie, or maybe we're being this or that. Like, everything he said, it was like, it was supposed to be for you to reflect on it for yourself, and he was never responsible for just being an asshole, being rude, or just being abusive. So yeah, we left there, and then that's it. Oh, before we leave there, he also was starting to feel like people were poisoning his food. And
Right,
so
he's still
he
living.
was really particular about who cooked for him. I did not cook for him at that point in time. He only had his close people that he was close to cook for him. He was on the fence of whether he could fully trust me or not, or he was acting like it. He was acting like it. He went through my phone to see who I was communicating with. He was looking at messages between me and my little sister, like, who is this? He thought I was a mole, like, and I don't even know if he really thought these things, or if he
Mm-mm.
was just trying to see how far he could go with me,
Exactly.
and how much I would allow him to do. I don't know, but yeah. And I really wanted to prove myself. I would cry when he did those things. I would cry because I wanted him to know that I was a loyal person. I wasn't gonna do nothing to harm nobody here. I'm not like that girl that called the FBI. Like, I was trying to make a point. Like, I'm not like these people that be out here, doing those things to you. Like, I'm not that type of person. If I'm your friend, I'm gonna be your friend. So yeah, I was always trying to prove myself. So I just, I did what I really felt like I did a lot of what I was supposed to do. Like, I cleaned, like I cooked, I cleaned, like it was nobody's business. It was just, yeah, to the point I didn't really have time to do much else. But while we were in Belize, I had a little bit more free time than I would have later on in the cold. Like, I had time to paint. He had got us like some recyclable paper or whatever, recycled paper. And I would paint, and I would spend time just like doing art. So we had a little bit more time, and he would come around that when I would do that, and he'd be like, look at you being dope again. You're so dope. And he would, um, it was weird. It was his relationship with all of us was very weird. It was definitely a trauma bond, because he would give us all this very positive reinforcement right after some really traumatic, just like abusive behavior. And I didn't really know, and I thought, like, this person really cares about us, and that's the reason why he's screaming on us. So when it started to escalate, I didn't really detect it, because I'm thinking he still cares. Anyways, we weren't bowing to him at this time. We were calling him master teacher. We wasn't like doing no standing up when he comes in the room, none of that. Um, this is around the time when we were more free to speak. We could go on live when we wanted to. We could talk to whoever we wanted to, you know. But he would say, like, talk to people who are on your frequency. Don't give cashier's pearls to swine, which is probably a Bible verse. Don't give what is valuable to you to people who aren't going to be able to receive it. So we would, stay on the side. And it's crazy because the way the algorithm works on social media is when you start following him or any of us, you start seeing more people who are out here in Costa Rica, out there, living in nature. And so most of the time you kind of start to see the same posts over and over again in the same type of people. So anyways, we leave from there, we go to Cancun. That's when we meet Aaron. And when I first, and like I always say, because I knew it off rip when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be bad, because I'm supposed to be with Tron, but I know that's my husband. So this is gonna be it's gonna be an awkward situation. But I think like as soon as we got to the place in Cancun, it was like, yeah, this is obvious. So there was a meeting, and Bishop would often do these meetings where I actually think this might have been one of the first ones like this, but later on he did it often, where he would have everybody say who they're attracted to. I don't know if he started with the men or women, I don't know, but I remember when Aaron said he was attracted to me, I was like, bet, because I was already thinking that. And he said he was attracted to one other person too, but I was like, it don't matter. and then right after that, it was funny because right when I said I'm attracted to him, Tron scooted like 3 feet away from me, and I was just like, well, I'm sorry, I had to be honest. And then right after that, me and Aaron started talking, and yeah, just like trying to establish a relationship with each other, like just trying to get to know each other. And when we were doing that, Bishop didn't like how close we were getting, because we were kind of like secluded from the group just to talk to each other all the time. And he made it a point to say that we were like, specifically Aaron was isolating himself and not a part of the group, and he didn't, he was trying to do his own thing. He might as well leave and go do his own thing. And Aaron was very talkative when he first came, and while Bishop would be talking, Aaron would start talking and be like, yeah, because da 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 da. And we would all look at Aaron like, bro, we don't talk while you talking. And Aaron's like, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Like, I'm cool. Like, he was himself, like 100%. And he was just like, yeah, because da da da. And then Bishop told him, he was like, look, they don't talk while I'm talking. You're not supposed to talk while I'm talking. And Aaron's like, oh, that's how, like, you could tell he's something in him like switched, because, the group wasn't doing it either. So he stopped doing it too. But initially, like, he was very outspoken, and he was like doing his own, like he was really doing his own thing. And I even felt like, this nigga, like, I'm sorry, let me excuse my language. I'm like, is he feeling me? Because he's like, he is totally content by himself. Like, he's content. But yeah, so, and then
what you do, girl?
After that,
what they do?
Oh, this is when we start witnessing some things happening with like him and his wife, and it like he starts to get very verbally abusive, and I think even physically abusive. I can't really remember, but I remember her wanting to leave and him not really allowing her to leave, and this was all happening in front of probably majority of us. And he would always make it seem like she was in her demons and she was got to go back to her lower self. So I looked at it like that too. And there was more additional members being added to the group, like coming in at the same, like a lot of people were coming in at this time. People were being paired up, like, oh, I kind of attracted to that person. I want to see what he's about. I want to see what that person. We had nothing else to do but to like get to know each other. And the only way you could be like really get to know each other as being a female, being a woman and a man, like you can't really talk to each other unless you're in a relationship. So at that point in time, so you just kind of have to get together. Like you're just gonna be together and we're gonna see if we like each other. And so initially it wasn't like, oh, we're being passed around. It was more so like, yeah, like I want to get to know this person, but in order to get to know them, I have to like basically say I'm married to them and I'm their wife. For example, the one of the guys I was with him for like a week or two. And we really wasn't even that, it wasn't even like, we was just more so friends. We would watch movies together and laugh. But because we had to consider ourselves husband and wife, to the public, it looked like, oh, she's, like, but we was just kicking it like friends. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can't kick it with people. And I didn't realize that before. I thought it was going to be more friendly and more family like, but I did understand that whole like, oh it's going to cause confusion if you're just talking to a guy every day, but then you say you don't want to be with them. Like I got that part. So, and then I also felt like, Bishop was more experienced with relationships. He would tell us about all these relationships he'd been in and all of the people he's met in his life and how he knows so much. So I trusted that, he knew more about like body language and everything than we did. But here you go playing with us again, playing in our face. But so we left Cancun and we ended up in Palenque, and that's when Bishop first kind of started to get in between me and Aaron's relationship and other relationships there. We were at a hostel, and in the hostel, me and Aaron were asleep together in the same bed. And I guess the guys, there was some type of disruption, something going on outside with another member. And Aaron was asleep. He didn't wake up to go do what they was doing. And Bishop got upset, like, oh, see, you being with her is distracting you. Relationships are a distraction, all this stuff. And he had this meeting with everyone, including myself. And he was like saying that I wasn't growing here. I had been here for, I don't know, maybe I had been there for about 4 or 5 months by then. And he was saying that I wasn't growing. So I was like, okay, I agree. I'm not growing. I think I'm going to leave because I don't want to be a destructive interference. Right. So I packed my bags, and I was waiting to, see who was going to take me where. And I didn't know. I figured I'd probably just call my family or something but I really wanted to stay in Mexico. But right when I had my bags packed and I was ready to go, and Aaron was out of the room and everybody was out of the room, Bishop looked at me and he's like, you really going to leave me? You going to leave me like that? And I was just like, in that moment, I felt like, you're my friend. Like, I'm not going to leave you. Like, I don't want to leave you hanging like that. And I put my bags down, and I guess I just couldn't be with Aaron. That was the agreement. But since I was by myself again, I decided to take the opportunity to apologize to Tron, because I felt like the way that I went about, like being in a relationship with him, but knowing that I liked Aaron was wrong. So I apologized to him. And Bishop made a big deal of it, saying that I was in front of the whole group, saying that I was causing confusion here, and that
yes, plenty.
Because I told Tron that I was sorry, that I apologized to him at night. It was nighttime. I was playing with a man, like a man's urges, and misleading him and all this stuff that that's not what I was thinking about. But he made it seem like you weren't consciously thinking about it, but you were subconsciously thinking about it. And so I was like, all right, whatever. And everybody was agreeing with him. So I was like, fine, I'm just going to be by myself and do my thing. But Aaron wouldn't leave me alone, y'all. No, he was just like, I don't know. I could just tell like I was not going to get over liking him and wanting to talk to him and stuff. And he would just be making jokes. And I'd just be like, bro, like, I don't know. There was something about him. But anyways, we ended up moving to this house in Palenque where all of the crazy stuff happens, the wild stuff happens. And just, yeah. Well, anyways, I'm sorry. Just thinking about that, I was like, wow. But we ended up moving to Palenque in that house where it was like a jungle, fruit jungle type place. It was a lot of land. We put our tents on there. We were the first people to ever live in that house, so it was very clean. Um, that's what happened. Oh, this was the first time I was ever like humiliated in front of the group. Humiliated in front of the group. Like, and then punished. Oh my gosh, like so he first of all, I told Aaron, I'm like, look, I know you making jokes and doing all this, but I really like you. So I would appreciate it if you respected that fact that I really like you. And he was just like, oh, I don't remember what he said to me, but I felt like I had to tell him because he was making too many jokes. And I was like, look, we can play, but I ain't playing about one thing. And then
Hey, fool.
it was somewhere around there where um, I I think Aaron, okay, so Bishop used to cut all of our hair, line us up and stuff. I think Aaron was talking to Bishop one day, getting his hair cut. I don't know what was said, but then Aaron was like, he came downstairs and he was like, hey, he said we could be together. And I was like, okay. Then I went to go get my hair cut. And then he was telling me, like, Bishop was telling me something. I don't remember what he was saying, but I just remember I started getting an attitude. Like, what are you talking about? And he started saying, like, oh, you guys, how you gonna have an attitude with me? Da, da, da. And he just started getting on me. And I'm like, bro, no, like, like, I don't like being yelled at. Remember, I was just about to leave. So I'm like, I am not about to sit here and take this. And then he was like, hey, yo, Aaron, come get your girl, basically. And he came upstairs or whatever, and he was like, nah, she gotta go. The bishop was like, nah, she gotta go because she just got an attitude and it's crazy. And I was like, bet. So I went and got my bags again.
Hey, Kev.
And I was literally like, fine. And I don't know what happened, why I didn't actually leave. I remember sitting on the steps and everything. I was ready to go, but I don't remember why I didn't actually leave. I just remember like shortly after that, there was a meeting that Bishop orchestrated where it was us, me and Aaron, asking the whole entire group what they thought, basically for their permission for us to be together. And during this meeting, the two other guys that I had previously been with started getting gassed by Bishop to say things like, he was like, but she was just with y'all. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about the fact that she was just with y'all and, y'all couldn't get none? And now she want to be with him and she was with me and
the monster blaster.
He put me in the hot seat. I literally had to sit in this rocking chair while he started asking me about my past, asking me about men in my past and my relationships with men in front of the whole group. And then he just blatantly started calling me hoes and whores and all this stuff in front of everybody. And I don't know, that really broke. I feel like that really broke me a bit, for real. Like in that moment, I just remember just like feeling broken, like, and I believed him. So that was really what broke me, because I believed his words. I believed that I was those things because of my past and because I had been with two other men there and because I had, slept with him, or I should say he coerced me, because that's really what happened. And it was literally just that one time, and I had never had sex with nobody else, like nobody, like in my life, clearly. Ouch. And so being called those things, it was like I never thought I would ever be called those things, and it was like it just devastated me. And there people was giving their quote unquote honest opinions. I think they was just saying,
that's terrible. That is terrible. Can you imagine? After your very first time to be called all them names. You're gonna need more than that. That is terrible. That is terrible. Can you imagine? Just imagine that. That is something else, baby. Something else. But we shall go.
What would look good to Bishop about what they felt about me and what they felt
Yeah, it
about me
was a
being with
moment of
Aaron. So
silence.
it was like 15 people saying these things. It was just humiliation. That's what it was. It was a humiliation ritual. It was a real Negro moment before real Negro moments became public. That's what it was. He was doing those way before live, you know. He was humiliating us off camera way before he was humiliating us on camera. So by the time it was on camera, it was almost like I was used to it. And people online were shocked, but it wasn't really a shock to me. Um, I ended up basically being punished, and my punishment was that I had to sleep in a one-man tent.
Oh, what?
Which was like a coffin, in my opinion, because you just have to like slip in there and then you zip it up and there's no room. Like you can't lift your hands up, you can't sit up in it, nothing. I had to sleep in there. And there was bugs. It was crazy. It was stuff biting me.
Ouch, ouch, and ouch.
And the next day I was like, look, I went to Aaron because the punishment was that Aaron got to sleep in my tent, which was I think a 4-man tent or a 2-man tent, while I had to sleep in the 1-man tent. So it was like he got the good tent and I got the punishment or whatever. So I went to him and I was like,
the bug tent.
Hey, I think you should talk to him about switching us back, like, or something. Like, this is crazy. And I was devastated, man. Like I was crying, everything, because it was terrible to sleep in that tent.
The bug tent.
But anyways, to fast forward, me and Aaron ended up getting back together anyways, and we sleeping together in the tent, in the nice tent. And yeah, so and me and Aaron had a beautiful relationship in Palenque, like for a while. And I think like it was very like I think we knew each other. We had been together about 3 months before I got pregnant. So, and I personally knew, that the baby was Aaron's because I just knew that. But at that time, Bishop was playing with all of us, every single person in the group. He was playing with us. He had all of the women do a photo shoot. And he was like, y'all go back to that back room and y'all change into these clothes because he wanted us all to wear one color. We went to the back room and changed. He knows we're all in there changing. Bishop walks in the room as we're all changing. And mind you, each and every one of us is with another man. This is when he only had one wife. So each and every one of us was with another man there. And he walks into the room. And he looks at us. And then he walks back out. And then he calls a meeting. And he's like, I don't know, you guys, I just got this feeling, I'm saying I'm tapped into the universe. And, I got this feeling that I'm supposed to be with all of them.
God dang it. Dang
and everybody's just like,
huh?
Tell us more. Like,
huh?
What?
Don't tell me no more.
Listening to him and he's talking, and he's charismatic and he's manipulative and he's saying things that it's playing on our spiritual beliefs and stuff. And some of the men agree that, okay, you can be with my wife. Some of the men say, no, I don't think that's okay for you to be with my wife. And some of the women say, yeah, I would like. He made it seem like
It was y'all
for the
decision.
women, he talked to us like this. He was like, don't y'all want to have a close relationship with y'all's higher self? Well, see, I'm your higher self because I'm tapped into the knowledge. I have this direct connection to it. So by you connecting to me physically, you have a direct connection to this knowledge too. So don't you want to be closer to your higher self?
I'll pass.
Some women were like, yeah, like I would just like to spend more time with you, like be able to talk and hang out. And some women were like, yeah, I understand that. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I think we should have a closer relationship, you know? So it was like, he just made it seem like we needed, this was for our spiritual growth, basically, to put it simply. And shortly after that, he called me up to his room. And, you know, I talked about that in my testimony and stuff. Yeah. So it was weird because it's like, it put Aaron in a weird position. It put me in a weird position. And he's somebody that we were supposed to put first, because over this time in Palenque is when it started to get very structured and ordered. It stopped being about he's the master teacher and it started being about he's the chief. So he's the chief and he's our higher self, the commander in chief of the earth plane. So it was like, okay, when he walks in the room, we have to stand up with our hands behind our back. And somebody says, "You're chief on deck." Like, it's starting to get very militant. When we have a meeting, we have to stand at attention the entire time. Unless he tells us at ease, which is when we can sit down. But if he never says at ease, we never sit down. There's been times where people have passed out. There's been times where I have thrown up just standing there for so long.
Dang.
You know, there was a time where I remember I got sick and I ran out at a meeting and I went to the bathroom and Bishop came to the bathroom and Aaron came to the bathroom too. And Bishop was like, "Tell me what's wrong with you. Tell me what's going on with you." And he would just make it seem like he really cared. He'd be like, "Tell me what's going on inside." And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I had this weird dream last night that, you know, I had a dream that Aaron was cheating on me, basically. And he was like, so what that means is, Bishop was like, what that means is like, you are starting to fall in love with him and you just want to know that he's going to protect your emotional investment. And I was like, wow,
like yeah,
like that makes sense. I do feel like I want to know that he knows that I'm falling for him and so whatever. And so, you know, it was stuff like that. He would play little games. But I believed in him and I believed what he was saying. And I didn't think I was getting sick because I had to stand there for freaking 3 hours or something. I thought I was getting sick because I had something I needed to express. That's what he would say. Like, if you're feeling sick, it's something wrong with you. If something's wrong, you know, like when Aaron first got there, his throat closed up and he couldn't even talk. And that's a major part of why me and Aaron broke up too, is because Bishop was telling me on the back end, like, hey, yo, he's acting weak, yo. He's acting weak. And, you know, when you're sick, you're supposed to be strong and you're supposed to, you know, come up and come harder than that. Like, he was like, do you ever see me sick? I ain't never sick because sickness can't live in my body because I'm on a high vibration. So I started side-eyeing Aaron like, hey, yo, like, you're not strong enough man for me. And so, yeah, but really he was just freaking having some type of reaction to whatever was going on. And he needed support in time, but I was very impatient and I was very mean and cruel. And I was like, man, you acting weak. You know, like, you need to hurry up and like move past this. I'm like, chief ain't never sick. Like, why you sick? So yeah, it was like stuff like that. And then that's when Bishop started preaching that he had the best genes. And if you wanted to reproduce kids that have the best genes, you have to have his children. And I remember actually saying to him, like, in a meeting in front of everybody, like, yeah, I think that you are the smartest person on the planet. And so, yeah, I probably do need to have your kids. Like, like saying it in front of everybody. I remember that. But just like me having that connection to Aaron, I definitely just never felt like I could just fully let that go. And when I really tried to, I was with Bishop because he was like, okay, you're going to be with me. And I was really trying to like let go of Aaron. I couldn't even go downstairs, like to where I knew Aaron would be, because I knew as soon as I saw him, I was going to like, I don't know. But so I would just stay upstairs, or I would stay outside. I would just stay somewhere where I knew I would never run into him. And Bishop would be like, y'all just want to be together. Y'all just want to be together so bad. Like, y'all might as well be together. And then, but I'd be like, no, like, I don't want to be with him, just because I'm like trying to like be with my higher self and show him like I'm committed to being with my higher self. But he's like, no, you want to be with him. And one time he told me, he's like, you got to be with him or you got to leave. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because I felt like I was doing the wrong thing. Like, because even though he would tell everybody to be honest about how you feel, he still wants you to say what he wants you to say. So it was like, I felt so confused. I'm like, I want to be with Aaron, but being with Aaron is wrong. So,
can you play with me, Emma?
Oh my gosh, yes, I can. Can you hold on?
Yes, I can.
But in reality, I think two of them really did like him, and then the other two, me and one other member at that time, we were like always together, and like we just was like, we would talk to each other. We'd be like, man, we really don't want to be with him. Like, let's just stay out here all day and like not go up there, because we didn't want to be around him. We didn't want to be with him because there was a lot of drama with him and his relationship. Like, we just didn't want to be with him and be around him. So we wanted to be around everyone else. But when you're with him, you can't be around everyone else. You have to like be up in the castle and like just sit there. And so I was like, no, like I want to go down and like see what the common folk are doing. I'm one of them. No, I'm being funny, but I just want to be out and be about. So me and her was like, be out and be about, and then like try to sneak off, and he would come and find us, and he'd be like, why y'all not upstairs with us? And we'd be like, oh, we're just out here, writing poetry and stuff. He'd be like, BS, that's BS. Y'all trying to run from yourselves and stuff. And, anyways, I just, around that time, I remember telling that girl, I was like, look, I feel like I'm pregnant, and I feel like I know who the child's father is, and it is not him. It is not Bishop. I was like, I need to get out of this relationship fast. And so one day they're all in the tent, and they're like, we're all in the tent with Bishop, all his so-called wives. And I started feeling like I just got sick to my stomach. Like they were all, he wanted everybody to perform acts on him, and I was just sitting there like, no, I'm not touching you. Like, like it was making me sick. And he was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And he was like, oh, what? Word? And I was like, yeah, no. And he literally picked up the walkie-talkie. He was like, hey, yo, come get your girl. I'm talking to Aaron. He's like, hey, yo, come get your girl. And Aaron came to the tent, and I was like, thank God. And we rode off into the sunset. No, I'm playing. We left, and then like that's around the time where I found out I was legit pregnant, and because I took a test and stuff, and I was like, I told Aaron, and he was just looking at me like, what? That's crazy. And then I told Bishop, and I was like, and this is exactly what I told him. I said, I just want to let you know I'm pregnant, but I want to let you know that I know it's not yours, so it's okay. And he was like, he looked at me and he was like, no, but it could be. And I was like, what? He was like, no, but it might be mine. I'm like, no, it's not. And so, oh God. Then
Pay
that's
for
when
in
he
exchange. Yeah,
basically
it's
decided to
true.
humiliate me
So
in front
true.
of the entire group. Um, Getting them on his side that I really didn't know who the child's father was. And then pulling up a literal calendar on the projector screen, telling everybody in that meeting, basically the whole group, when my ovulation was, what days I had, like it was just crazy. Just telling intimate details about me and my body to these folks, basically saying he was saying that he had stronger swimmers than Aaron because he's more melanated and all this stuff. Oh my God, it was just humiliating. I
Oh
remember
Lord.
just looking out the window during this whole meeting and being like, I'm gonna run
Just
the fuck out of
yeah,
here.
just
Like,
push
I'm gonna
that
get out of
over.
here. Like, I can't be around
Faithful.
this person. I can't do this. Like,
I,
this is too much. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, that is the last thing I thought was gonna happen when I told him I was pregnant. Like, I thought everybody was gonna be happy for me. But it turned into this whole humiliation thing. And then like I'm like, well, I want to be with Aaron. And then he decided to take it to the online streets, and we had to go live and explain why I was with Aaron. And then we had to explain that I don't know who the child's father is, and I'm going along with it. But in my heart and everything in me is like, I know who my baby daddy is. like I know who my child, like, and I did. Obviously, I didn't take any type of DNA test at that time, but I just felt like I knew. And it was just very frustrating and very humiliating for the world to know that, because after that, I started getting a lot of messages from people, saying like, calling me the same thing, calling me a hoe, calling me all these things, and saying that how could I be enlightened if I don't even know who my baby father? How can I? I'm not no teacher. I'm not no spiritual teacher. You don't know nothing. You're just a little this and a little that, and you out here spreading your legs. Oh my gosh, like the worst stuff anybody could say about me. I felt like I was getting in my inbox, and it was honestly, I think it broke me more. It broke me more. And the only person that I feel like I had that I could depend on was Aaron. He really didn't even care, or at least he didn't express that he cared if the child was his or not. I think he cared, but because of what our relationship was like to the leader, to Bishop, he didn't want to seem like he didn't care. I think, I don't know. You have to ask him, but I was so sure. Every moment I got, I would try to tell Aaron, like, it's your child. Like, don't worry about this dude. But me and Aaron would be sitting there having a moment to ourselves, like minding our business. And Bishop would be like, but what if the baby's mine though? So, like, just walk up and say some stuff like that or whatever. And he would just be like, what the is wrong with you? Like, get out of my, like, stop doing this. And it was just awful. Like, it was awful. And I'm going to pause right there because it gets worse, and I just need a moment I'm gonna read the comments.
yes, for a lot of people, laughing is a coping mechanism. I know a lot of people, and you be like, you think stuff funny, but you could tell it's a coping mechanism because you can't be knocked up, and everything that happened is funny. So I believe it's a coping mechanism. You know, if I would like, man, oh man, I know a lot of people who do that, and it's automatic. I really don't believe she would come and tell this story if it's a joke. Why tell the story and it's all funny and if it's a joke? I don't believe that, but I don't know. But I believe it is a coping mechanism, right? This was a this game. This was a sick game. Yes, foreign and strange. Baby Ja, who genes were stronger. Thank goodness for that, because I don't know if y'all remember Baby Ja. Baby Ja was born. He's so cute now. Baby Ja was light when he was born. Baby Ja then got darker, but Baby Ja was lighter. Really really cute little boy, really cute baby. But he was lighter, so it wasn't really hard to tell. It wasn't really hard to tell, right? Then he got darker.
The lie detector determined that was a lie. Yeah, exactly. It was definitely supposed to be a happy time for me. I don't think any of the women got to experience um happiness during their pregnancy for real, like genuinely. But I'll speak for myself and just say, like, I was super excited to be pregnant. Like, I was so excited. One, because my body works, and two, because um I really wanted to have Aaron's child. I told him that, and I wanted that. And two, I mean, three, because our beliefs were about nation building, and I thought like I was doing a service to humanity. Like I really felt that, and I really wanted to have many children, like and so for the so-called kingdom of God, so it was like a very happy moment for me. I was super excited, and then he took it all the way to HE double hockey sticks with it. I was like, dang. He ain't even waste no time. As soon as I told him, he called a meeting and pulled up the freaking calendar so quick. I just didn't even know how to feel. And yeah. But I can't express enough gratitude that it's not his child. So that is like um thank you, God. The real God. Or, thank you. Like Lord have mercy. And I'm glad Ja was healthy and made it too. Yes, yes, spam knees. I think that's very important. Yeah. Tyler asked, was y'all I think I can like oh, so you can like show the comment on the screen. Hey, okay, figured it out. Was y'all able to rest some days or every day was too much? We had days that were supposedly rest days. Sometimes he would just call it out on the walkie, or he would come down um and say like today's a rest day, y'all. But the thing what it had became in Palenque was he started this thing where he was like, y'all, I think every morning we should have a meeting. And so every single morning he would come down. We had to be ready by like 7 a.m., be ready for the day. And he would do this meeting, and sometimes the meeting would last hours and hours and hours. And we would have to cook while he's talking, or we would be too like stuck to cook. And we would just be sitting there for hours and hours and hours. And then he'd be like, all right, y'all, let's go start our day. Or he'll come down and be like, okay, y'all, I think today's gonna be a rest day. But then go on to talk for hours. And so you think you about to get this whole day where you ain't gonna have to do nothing and you ain't gonna have to hear him talk, and it would turn into a 5-hour meeting. Like it was crazy. Some days were genuinely felt like you just had more peace and you could do more stuff. But um yeah. But I think he liked to keep us busy a lot. So even if we weren't what do you call it? like doing something for him directly, there would always be a production team working. People would be trying to get into their music and stuff. People who were on the go out team, they would be having to go out to get groceries and all this stuff, and we had to go do that once a week. I myself was on the go out team as one of the women. Because my husband was on the go out team, I was allowed to go. So all the rest of the women, they had to stay at the on the land, on the compound. I was allowed to leave, so I got to kind of like see parts of Mexico, see Palenque, see the the markets out there and all that, and see more. So I had a little bit more freedom in a sense. Like, especially when we would go on them grocery trips, we would have fun, and we would always get us a snack. We would always be laughing, kikiing it up. Man, we would have fun on them grocery trips. We would take hours. I mean, we would take all day because we would just be having fun. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of anything else before I go into so the nudity came back at Mexico. So women were topless again. Men were always topless, of course, and we were always barefoot. I think I did not wear shoes unless I actually went out to grocery shop. So I remember this is before me being pregnant. I remember he had me. I mean, I was just walking around like topless like everyone else. But he pulled me aside, and in front of all the men, like he gathered the men around, and all the men were sitting in the dining room area, and I was standing like in the living room area with my chest out, and he asked the guys, who in here looks at her?
Dang.
Looks at her body. And
dang,
men start raising their hands, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Like, I thought we were all naturalists and we were all like looking at each other, like not looking at each other, like sexualizing each other. So it was like, what is happening here?
No,
Like,
ain't no such thing as nudist.
And why are they saying this? And then he was like, y'all like the way her, like she looks and stuff. And it was just like, all the men were like agreeing. I feel like they were just agreeing with him because he was saying he liked it and they were agreeing, but it was like all of the men were saying it, and I was just like super uncomfortable. And basically it was in that moment where he wanted to make them big old things. I had a certain type of body that I had to specifically had to cover up at certain times. And it just made me uncomfortable because I'm like, so all these other women can kind of like walk around freely, but because I guess these men are attracted to me, or you're attracted to me, I have to cover myself up when I came here to be free and to be liberated. Like, it was just like, I don't know. It was definitely a weird feeling because I'm thinking these are all like my brothers or like just my fellow like tribe members. Like, I didn't think they were looking at me no type of way, and I don't think they really were. I think they did look to me as like a sister, or a lot of them always said that I reminded them like an auntie figure. But I think the fact that he was asking them in front, and he was saying like, don't lie, y'all don't lie, y'all know y'all be looking at her, like, it made them want to raise their hands and stuff. But then it just became a rule where after a certain time of the day I had to cover up, and then like all the women had to cover up. It is just like in that transition, it just like wasn't he was saying like we were supposed to be natural and not care about those things, but then he would say like, oh well, we got Babylon in us, so it's in us, so we care about it. But I'm like, we're supposed to be breaking those curses and stuff. Obviously now I don't feel the way I do about nudity and stuff. I wouldn't walk around topless now anywhere, but I just pointed that out because I just thought that was very interesting, and it's a moment that stuck out to me. While being there, I think that the moments that you're kind of like berated in front of the group members are the most impactful sometimes in these groups, because it just feels more intense because it's multiple people. And you get to know these people, and you feel like you're building a meaningful relationship as a whole with the group, and then it's like you start to trust their answers and stuff like that, and their views. Yeah, he would say like when it gets nighttime, when the sun will go down, that's when men's animalistic nature comes out, and so women need to cover up so that they don't tempt men. Yeah. So, and this is around the time in Mexico where he started preaching a lot about being a virtuous woman, being a submissive woman. He would do a lot of videos, a lot of lives where he would talk about how he likes his woman very small, and for him to be able to intimidate and dominate. He would tell us women that that's what women like. Like, women like to feel like they're almost being R-worded. They like to be choked. He would tell us what he was doing to his wife at that time, that she was enjoying it, and that they were both enjoying their relationship.
No, she was not.
While it was also physically abusive.
No, she wasn't.
It was enjoyable for both of them. Because she, he would say like, she's crazy and she loves that stuff, and I'm crazy and I love it too, and we just so passionate with each other. And he would say all women really like that deep down. And
no. Now that has turned out to be a lie. That has turned out to be a lie. A lie, and lie. Don't forget, when I finish this, I will be going over to the other side, and then JC is going to break down she's going to break down the interview from yesterday. Or I may play the one before that because it is more information. But that was a good interview, or not interview. I don't do interview. I do conversations. That was a good combo. That was a very good combo. So we're gonna definitely or I might come back on here, but at least support the channel by hitting the like. But this channel, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just listening to her story, right? And you're gonna have to go over there and ask her. I don't know. But I'm glad to hear this part. He was also torturing the males by taking a woman and forcing them to be celibate. Air quotes, because they was sticking it. Yep.
Mind you, I'm very inexperienced in myself, and like also trusting this person, and I'm like, do I like that? Like, well, maybe I do. I don't freaking know. Like, I don't know. But it just, like I said, it was a constant somebody telling you about who you are and what you like and what is enjoyable for you, what makes you happy. At certain points, people was like, no, this don't make me happy. Like he was like, I remember the day he was like, no, this don't make me happy no more. I don't want to be here because I'm not happy. And Alicia talked his head off for hours. Like, you want to be happy, like we don't come here to be happy. We come to bring change. We're the change in the world and all this stuff. And Key is like, I don't care. I'm not happy. I'm not about to stay here when I'm not happy no more. And it was just like, yeah, we could have moments together where we could enjoy each other, but he didn't like too much of Like if we had to match his mood.
They had to match his mood. This is terrible. Terrible, terrible, and terrible. Where JC at? Where JC? Because I want to go over there. And then we're going to do she's going to break down the interview over there. So I want to make sure JC is ready to go. Ready to go. But this is inside. This is an inside what life was like for her as a woman inside the coat. All right. Don't forget to click on the Jackie put in babes, put in the babes, put in the babes. I'm going over there. I'm going over there. So click, click, click. I'm going across the street. I'm going across the street. I'm going across the street. So if y'all want to click on babes, click on babes. I'm going across the street. In about 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Put in for babes. Put in for babes. Jack Jack. Is in the chat? Oh, okay.
I'm so hot,